In this segment, I'm going to talk about eliminating negativeness. Negatives are the weeds, and if left unattended, they choke out our inspirations, our hopes, our dreams. Negatives serve no purpose for us, and yet it makes absolutely no difference to the mind whether you think constructive thoughts or destructive thoughts. It makes no difference to the mind. It makes all the difference to us. It makes all the difference to our life. It makes all the difference to the things that are going to happen to us, but it makes no difference to the mind. Now notice I'm speaking of you and your mind as if they're different, and they are different. Now I'm going to share with you something very important to understand, and that is that you are not your mind. Just like you're not your hand. Your hand is a part of who you are, and you're not your foot, and your foot is a part of who you are. And you're not your mind. Your mind is simply a part of who you are. It's not you. In the mind power training, one of the names that I give to the conscious mind is the great trickster. And the reason that I call it this is because our mind tricks us all the time. It limits us. It fools us. It brings us negative thoughts. And if we think that we're our mind, then we have to listen to every single thought that happens. But we're not our mind. So what we want to do is we want to eliminate negative thinking from our mind. Now there are 4 excellent techniques for eliminating negatives from the mind, and I want to share 2 of them with you right now. The first technique is called cut it off. And in the cut it off technique, what we do is the instant that we find ourselves thinking a negative thought, we just immediately cut it off and insert a totally different thought into our mind. We don't argue with it. We don't analyze it. We don't defend ourselves against it. We just cut it off. And the key in this technique is the instant that you're thinking a negative thought. Like maybe the negative thought comes to you, oh, you're worthless, nothing much is going to happen to you. And you find yourself thinking it and you go, oh, wait, that's a negative thought. Just cut it off and insert a totally different thought. Now, in the second technique is totally different. Instead of cutting it off, what we do is we label it. We say to ourselves, what is happening inside me is I am now experiencing, quotation marks, a negative thought. It has no more power over us than what we give it. And here I'm going to share with you something that when you understand this next truth, you are 75% of the way of eliminating all negatives from your mind just by understanding this next truth. And that is that negatives only have power over you if you react to them. If we fail to react to the negative, it has no power. For example, when you're thinking a negative thought and you go, oh my God, what's going to happen? I just know that's going to happen. Maybe the thought is, oh, you're never going to get ahead financially. And you start thinking about that. That's true. It's not. And it builds upon itself. And it is getting its power from you. Negatives are like psychic leeches. They get their power from us. So in the second technique, what we do is we simply remind ourselves, it's only a negative thought. It's only a negative thought. And you realize, wait, it's only a negative thought. That takes the power away from it. I mean, wouldn't it be great if when negatives came, they came with a little light that flashed to warn us, or maybe a little warning sound like, dun, 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 dun. You're about to hear a negative thought. You can choose to believe it or not. I mean, wouldn't that be great if that's the way they came? But it's not. When negatives come, they come like the voice of God. Guess what's going to happen to you? They come with such authority. And of course, because we don't know that we're not our mind, we have to sit there and listen to it. You know, from this point on, you don't have to do that. In the 6 laws of the mind, The fourth law is the law of control, and it states that we are forever experiencing thoughts, but we have the power and the ability to either entertain these thoughts or dismiss them. We control our thoughts. So the next time you find yourself thinking negatively, why don't you try one of these techniques and see how well they work? No longer do we have to be overwhelmed with negatives. No longer do they have power over us. From this point on, we have the techniques to eliminate negatives from our mind. So go out and use them.
All right. Awesome. You there? Yes. Good morning. Oh, I put everybody on mute.
Nice.
Yeah, wasn't that great? John Kehoe. Yeah, his training is awesome. So, yeah, this is it. Hey, Dee, I didn't see you pop in. Good morning. Good morning, Rod. Good morning, Grady. Tamara. Yeah, the John's training is great. And I think whatever, the negative thought thing popped in my mind today, what are we going to look at today? And so that's what video showed up. And it's amazing, isn't it? That we have control over our minds, because I'm starting to find that my mind is kind of going already. And it's only been a week and something, and starting to say, oh, no, you can't do this. You got to change your plan. You got to do this. And that's amazing. So now, and it's amazing how many times you hear this. We all know it, but to put it into practice is something else. So I saw those negative thoughts popping in yesterday, and I never even thought about what's his two strategies: either cutting it off and saying, hey, that's a negative thought, I don't need to pay attention to that, and replacing it with something else. No, we're on the, and I did that this morning naturally. I said, no, we're on the right track. We're doing the right thing. We don't have to reinvent what we're doing here. We just got to keep following what we thought we were going to do from the beginning, and what we planned on doing. So, and then labeling it as a negative thought. This is a negative thought, and I don't want to listen to it, and I have the power to change it, and we and control over it. So can decide, not to. And I like what he said. Like you get this thought, like it's the power. No, you can't do this. No, this is not going to work. No, you're wasting your time. So. And then I also find other people start popping into your life, trying to steer you in a different direction too. Oh, no, you should be doing this. This is a better idea. This is a better way to do it. This is a better idea, and all those things. So, yeah, I like John Kehoe. What he basically teaches is the laws of the mind that he came up with, and there's, I think he has 6 of them, but they're all amazing. And the main thing he teaches is that you are not your mind. Your mind is not even your soul. Your soul is one thing. Your mind is another thing. Your mind is the same as your hand or your foot. It's not the whole part of you. It's just a part of you is your mind. So he really has some great training on that. Anyway, welcome. What does everyone else think about that?
I guess you love the topic, huh?
I love the topic, and so does Tom. It's too bad he's not on the call today. That was great yesterday with Tom. I mean, he always has great insight to put in. But I'm sure if he was here today, he would have lots to put in, because he's followed John. It's changed him, and it changed me a lot too. And he's John Kehoe's just kind of an ordinary guy. He's not some big self-help guru. So that's cool. So yeah, I love that topic, the mind and the thoughts, because I think it's I think it's the key to everything. And I noticed that yesterday, trying to get steered off track again at what we're doing. And anyone else got something to input on that?
I thought it was really a good. I thought it was a really good share on mindset, and I think it's completely in alignment with everything that I've been reading. I'm still reading through The University of Success by Agnandino, and
Okay.
every different author, every like guest lecturer is from, different professions. Some are surgeons, some are, entrepreneurs, some are, lawyers, just like all different kinds of people who found success, written books. And one thing that is consistent is the mindset that you have to have if you want to be successful. And it's definitely two parts. It's one, you have to have the mindset of service, where you want to help people solve a problem. And if our goal isn't to help people solve a problem, then we're never going to be successful, because we're focused on ourselves, and that selfishness can only get you so far. And then the other side of it is to expect to be successful, to expect to, achieve the things that you want to achieve. And it makes sense to me that if we're expecting to go out and successfully serve others, and we believe that everyone has a need, and our product can help them with that, then there's no real reason why we can't go out expecting to be successful, expecting to find at least one person that we can help. And then that ideally should be an easy thing to achieve. But if we're going out with a selfish mindset, then that desperation is just reeking off of us, and nobody wants to be involved with that, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, we don't even want to be involved with it. Like when we're feeling all desperate and negative, we want to get away from ourselves, I'm sure, and just like, and that's why some people eat to escape their feelings, or watch TV, like they do negative things. So the mindset is just like super huge, and cutting it off is really an effective way. But I also think sometimes that actually just acknowledging how you're feeling, and then telling yourself like this isn't the truth, and affirming yourself is such a more powerful way. Because, and I guess it just depends on the moment and what you're doing, but I think sometimes to cut things off without acknowledging how you feel is kind of like just stuffing it, and it's going to come back again. But if you can acknowledge it, and then like tell yourself the truth of it, like, I can do this. Like, yeah, I'm having a hard time. Yeah, nobody's buying right now, but it's a mathematical certainty. If I don't give up, it's going to happen. So this feeling of hopelessness or whatever, it's a temporary thing. It isn't real. So let me just keep pushing. And I'm finding that mindset is really helpful, just even for me to get my numbers done fast. Like, before it would take me all day to get through the numbers because of all of the overwhelm. But now it's just like, you know what, let me just go ahead and knock this out and then move on to the next thing, because the next thing is, what other ways can I get the word out that I can help you if you have something like this going on, if you're interested in using this type of a product to alleviate your problems, like what other ways can I get the word out there to help you? So the mindset is 100%, like, it's just so important. So I think this is a really good share, and I appreciate you sharing, John. I'm going to go look him up
John
at some
Kehoe.
point after work today.
Cool.
Not during, but after.
Yeah, and I'll try to add a link too. Yeah, I think the important thing he said is, like, you're exactly what you're saying. It's not to cut off the thought. It's to cut off the thought, but the more important thing is to replace it with a better thought, because you can't just cut it off. You'd be going around going, okay, no, don't think about that. Don't think about that. But just start, okay, there's a negative thought. Okay, here's the positive thought that goes with it. Now you start thinking about that again. Because it's great when you're on a good day, you're just thinking positive thoughts. And that's the same thing with starting anything new. When you start something new, like day one is exciting, like it's new and it's exciting. But once the work kicks in, then it starts, the negative thought starts to come in, right? It's like, I always wondered that. Why is, like, when you go to the gym for the first day, it's awesome, it's exciting, you're having a good time, and it's like, yeah, I'm doing something, and because your thoughts are positive. And then at this day number 2, all the negative stuff starts drifting. Oh, this is hard. I don't want to go. And even I find it's always a good metaphor, exercise, because what I found about exercise, 2 things. I find if I get on the treadmill as soon as I get to the gym and do it for 10 minutes, then the blood flow starts going, the everything else starts to kick in. And that first 10 minutes or first 5 minutes is hard. And after that, the 10 minutes you're going, and then you can spend a half an hour. So or an hour or whatever in the gym, but it's getting there and just doing that 5 minutes to get that kickstart and get everything going. So, and then I also noticed about the gym, it's not really about the physical stuff as much as it is the mental stuff. So after the gym, your mental mind is clear and it's back in shape again because you've like got your oxygen and your energy going. So, but you're right. It's all you listen to anyone that's successful or training successful people, they're all saying the same thing, you know, different ways over and over, the same thing. It's about thoughts and getting a handle on that, being able to do that. So cool. And I like what you said about it's really about the mindset when talking to people, you know, if you're not, and I realized that yesterday too. I know we're talking about just getting the controllable action done, like talking to 5 people or 25 people or whatever the goal is, and not paying attention to the results. But yesterday I had a shift, or the day before yesterday, actually, about what you're talking about. You know, your mind has to be completely convinced that you're doing something good, and you're gonna do this, and it's gonna work, and it's gonna happen, and then you're on that frequency, and then people are attracted to that. So when you're talking to somebody, it's like, no, this product works, it's really helped me, this is what it's done. And I think the stories, that was another shift 2 days ago, the stories are what sell. So it's either your personal story or somebody else's story about the product that, hey, this really shifted for them. You know, and eventually we'll be able to get income stories, and then we can share that. This is, you know, we did this for 90 days and this is what happened, you know. So then we can start sharing that. But yeah, because then people are attracted to that, the stories of what it did for you and what it can do for them. Yeah, so.
Yep,
Cool.
I totally agree. And I'm noticing that stories sell, and it's so easy. Like I've been watching some other salespeople from, you know, the network marketing companies that I'm a part of, and how they're selling like on their lives. And it is so much the story. Like they start off, you know, bringing the energy level up with music or dancing. You know, a lot of these are younger people, and then they just start with like, you know, I was this way, and then, you know, I tried the product and it helped me with this, and how excited they are about that. And I know that we always talk about that, but like that is part of the easiest thing. And even if you don't have major stories, I keep noticing the little things that the product has been changing. Mm-hmm. And it's like, sometimes, you know, I feel like sometimes I'm focused on like, okay, I've got to find a way to share what people are interested in based on their needs. But a lot of that, I forget that I'm sharing from my experience. So my experience with the product is this, and that might be in alignment with you, or you might be like, well, I wonder, like yesterday, a friend called me, she's like, well, my husband has this going on, and we heard that glutathione is helpful for that. Like, have you experienced that? Because I know you struggle with that. And I'm just like, you know, I don't know. I've been using the glutathione for so long now. I haven't been struggling with that. You're right. Maybe that's why. Like, I didn't even notice that. But because I've been sharing what my health issues are and what I've been using, when she heard like the two in the same place for her situation, she reached out to me. That's what I want, you know, like I want to be able to share. I want my story to be able to like make my friends or potential customers hear, hey, maybe, and then, you know, ask me about it. So it's so important to like be comfortable just sharing our story, and we come together sharing that story amongst each other, so that maybe when you're talking with someone, you can be like, oh yeah, you know, my friend D, she's got this gluten thing, and she heard that the glutathione was really good for that, and so she's like, yeah, you know what, it's been working for me, so maybe it'll work for you. Like that's how we're supposed to like be. That's part of the networking and network marketing. Yeah. And I think sometimes we just get away from that because we're so focused on the business building part of it, but it's the networking that
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. Like, that's why this is different than corporate America selling goods on the stores. Morning, babe. So I just was like, that was just brought back to my remembrance as I'm watching this, and I'm seeing consistently how these women were trained to do that from the beginning, and they're very strong with it. And I'm like, okay, I see that, and I'm like taking notes. I've got to get comfortable and get my part of my own story down with the flow of like, and I was using this product and and this and that and like, there's just this really beautiful flow that I admire and I want to master for myself. So
Yes. Yeah. Cool.
but the story is the biggest part of it, you know.
I
Yeah.
agree. I had the epiphany 2 days ago. And I think the important part of the story is, I think, like you said, we have to start logging our changes and our results, because we don't even notice them anymore. My sleep has been deep every night for a couple months now, you know, and it's been deep before, but now it's way, way deeper. And so that's something I don't notice because I slept well before, but I'm sleeping way better now. You know, my energy levels are up. My pain is definitely, that's the only thing I'm looking at. My joint pain hasn't been a problem in a couple months now. And so, and I think maybe we've got different stories for different people. So if people have pain, we have a story about pain. And if it's not our own pain, it's somebody else on our team, their pain, or someone had a problem not sleeping at all, then okay, this is their story, you know, and they connect with that story. Yeah. And I think that, so I think it's important even for new people to log their result, what do you call it? Like, we have that checklist, right, from the company on, you know, write down what kind of problems you're having. Oh, joint pain, sleeping, all this stuff. And then, because once people start on the product, then they forget about all that stuff they used to have at the beginning before too. So,
and to take photos, because
yes.
photos, like, I'm so bummed every time I look at my, like, I have keloids from like just most random things, and every time I look at them now, I'm like, it's definitely flatter, it's definitely changing, like, you don't see this. And my husband's just like, I mean, yeah, but like, it's happening. So like, I keep saying, hey, did you see this is different again? Like, he's like, yeah.
And then the negative thought comes in, no, it can't really be happening. It must be something
And I
else.
wish I had taken better photos. Like, I wish I had taken better photos. So now I'm taking all these photos and it's like half better. Do I have to wait like another 6 months and it'll be gone? I'm here for this 6 months, but dang it. Like,
yeah, right. And then try to dig up old photos. I'm the same. I didn't take any photos, but at least we'll get new customers to take photos and tell them that. And I think it's also important. We've never touched on this at all. I really think it's important to tell people, you know, come in with the mindset that, yeah, maybe you want to try it for a month, but after that, you want to go on auto ship and you want to try it for a year. Right? Because you're going to see the results in a year. You're not going to see them, you know, once you're on every month for a year. That way we get people on auto ship and we get them committed right from the get-go. And I think that's a little bit of a shift too that I think we need to focus on. I kind of like the idea still of someone coming in and trying the patches for a month because there's no risk. But maybe, again, that's the mindset thing about talking about how serious you are and how confident you are that, no, just go on auto ship right away. So I kind of had a bit of a mixed thing about that, talking to people, go on, because auto ship's what really going to build a business. We're going to have customers. If we have people coming in for a month and then not ordering again, then that doesn't work. It has to be.
I really love the preferred customer program because they get the samples, you know, and I know that we're trying to build our teams. And so we really would like them to be distributors. But the downside with that is they don't get samples. They don't get to try all the products unless they order like the platinum package where they get all, you know, so many different. And so for me, the challenge is like, I really want people to try the patches and find the benefits for themselves, because I believe that they're going to be as enthusiastic as I am about the health benefits, and they're going to see like just how easy it is to use. And and how far it goes, like for what you pay, you get a whole month. I mean, like to me, bro, it's just an amazing deal. You know what I mean? Like as a person who's on a tight budget, that it's an amazing deal to get so many patches that last for so long in a day, like steady. I mean, it's just I'm blown away. So I want everyone to actually like try the program through the preferred customer program, because then they get all these samples every month, and then they get like the birthday thing, and they get the end of the time, they get the free X39. Like there's so much that they get from it, like it's so worth it. But then I understand, like for this 90-day run, we're supposed to be focusing on like building our team and exponential growth, and I'm just like, so that's where I'm torn. Like, I really just want people to try it, go on preferred customer, get your monthly shipments, get to try the different patches. I mean, like, it's an amazing deal.
Yeah.
What a salesman.
You sold me on it.
Please, I'm ready to buy some more.
Yeah, me too. I'm ready. But you know what we should do? Let's do a complete day, a half an hour on just the preferred customer program. And because I'm not 100% familiar with it either, because we've been focused on business building. So yeah, let's and I'm still not too clear on that. So let's spend some time. We only got 10 minutes left here, but let's spend either tomorrow or the next day. Tell me when, and we can just spend it. If we could go over and figure out what the different options are and what you get and all that kind of stuff, that would be cool.
Yes.
Because we never talked about that. And yeah, I'm, unless there's a shift there, this is where this mindset comes in. So, at the beginning of this, I have everything set up for bringing in business builders, getting them to try the X39s for a month. And then from there, decide what they want to do from there. So, and so that web page that I have built is based around that. And then yesterday I'm thinking, okay, it needs to be built more on stories and more on, telling about the product results and what it's done. Because the nice thing about that is when somebody new comes in, that's all they have to do is try the product, figure out what they were like at the beginning before they tried it, and then talk about what happened. That's it. And then they can share that with other people. And that's how this whole thing is going to get built, right? That way,
John,
it's not about anything else. It's just that. Come in, try the product, share your results, and share them with other people. Share your results with other people. Right.
I was thinking, and where you're talking about to get them on auto ship for a year is when you're talking about, their pain, their history of their pain, if chronic or not. If it's chronic, it took longer than a year for them.
Yeah.
On however long they've had the pain, give it a year to get rid of it. It's going to happen sooner, more likely, but yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Commit
so
to
true.
a year, Yeah.
That is so true. I think that's a big part of it. We want instant fixes for problems we've been dealing with for a really long time. Like your exercise example again, Don, like we did not get overweight with one meal. You cannot go into the gym one time and expect to get your college body back. Like it's just not going to happen.
No.
It takes
nice.
time, effort, and consistent energy.
And we get so conditioned to think we can do something in 90 days or a week or 2 weeks. No, like for me, the exercise thing has been a 10-year journey. It's getting better and better every day, but it didn't happen overnight. It's a slow 10-year journey for me. And I'm so glad I started 10 years ago, of starting to focus and maybe once a month in the gym, once a week in the gym, whatever. It's like, at least it's something. Yeah. So yeah, it's the same thing with this. We can't expect the pain to work, especially if it's been a lifetime worth of pain.
Mhm.
Like for me, my joint pain was at least 10 years, maybe 15, maybe longer, where I'd wake up with joint stiffness and joint pain. And that was really gone in 2 weeks for me on the patches. Right.
That's awesome.
And has it returned a little bit, but it's like I've been off the patches like a couple days and then it returns. But I feel way better than I did. So reverse your age, to me, I reverse my age because I feel better than I did 15 years ago with all this joint pain and stiffness. So you know, reverse your age doesn't mean you need to look like 15 again. And like, that's what people are thinking. I just feel better than I did last year, you know, that's reverse your age. Or I like what Potato says. Every time I put the patch on, I take 2.5 years off my age. Every day I put the patch on, I eliminate 2.5 years. I go back 2.5 years younger. That's actually cool. But I think our thinking, but I also think, how much time we have here? So 5 minutes. I think reverse your age is people, it isn't a niche online. People aren't looking to reverse their age because they don't know it exists. Right? They know that they have pain and they want to eliminate. They know they don't have good sleep. They want to find a solution. They know they have back pain. They know they have what you're talking about, Brady. So that we can relate to, you know, saying, hey, I've had back pain, now it's better. And that's the story. Or you know, whatever. There's so many different things we can talk about also, which is so great. Yeah.
And to show them, like, as we're doing it, like if you have back pain and it used to stop you from doing something, and then you start having the ability to start doing it again, to show it. Because anybody who actually knows you is gonna be like, hey, I remember he couldn't really do that, or he'd complain every time he did that because of his back. And now look at him, he's out there doing that, chopping that wood or whatever you guys do in the mainland. Yeah, you know. And it is the same thing like with weight loss, right? A lot of people, they need to see the journey. Like, it's great to see that you're nice and thin and you're healthy, like Tom, right? Like, it's great to see that he's all cut up. But if this was a recent transformation, we would all want to see, like, how did he get there? And then luckily, from what I hear from you guys, because I'm not on TikTok, so I don't follow any of you guys there. But it sounds like he consistently shows himself kind of working out or flexing. So he's taking you with him on the journey. So anybody who's in his age range that's thinking, I can't do this, they're watching him do it. And then he's saying, yeah, and I take these products that helps me. And like, dude, okay, well, look at him. He's still going. And I want to be a part of that, versus just seeing him talk about it without actually seeing him, like, take me on the journey with you. Yeah. And I think that's something.
Did he mention if he was using the X49?
No, I haven't talked to him about that. I think he said he ordered some. Yeah,
I was curious. It appeared to me that he looks like he's bulking up more.
Okay, yeah, we'll have to talk to him about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's been a month or something now. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and I like what Tom does too. He, you know, he started that journey like when he was, you know, in his early 60s. So
yeah, it's only been 2 or 3 years.
And it only been 2 or 3 years. So you know, that's, a lot of people could connect with that. Hey, I didn't even think that was possible. And he, you know, he'll tell you it all came from a mindset and a mindset experiment. Like not knowing that this mind stuff really works. It's all hocus pocus voodoo stuff, kumbaya stuff. So he did an experiment. Can I build my body if I change my mindset? And it worked.
And the answer is yes. Nice. So
that's crazy. And I like the idea of targeting people that ride motorcycles too, because there's so many people. Oh my
God, that's a whole different story. Yeah. I put a post up in one of the motorcycle groups yesterday. And how did that read? I hate to admit that I'm a senior motorcyclist. I just don't feel like one. I've got 700 likes, emojis, awesome. And 450 comments. Wow. So I've got my work cut out today.
Yeah, awesome. I would just focus on that.
That's one post. Yeah. So yesterday I reshot a video wearing my leathers. I'm instead of going broad, I'm going right down to senior motorcyclists, 60 and above. Yeah. There must be plenty of them out there.
I would do that.
And I've already sent out a bunch of messages. I think I sent out 30 messages. I got 5 replies, sent out the information. So I got to follow up with them today, but I've still got another, 500 people I've got.
Oh, yeah. I would just focus on that. And yeah, that's your passion. And then you're going to connect with other motorcycle riders and it's just going to.
Well, now I'm going to start doing, That's what I'm gonna do.
Then you can talk about motorcycle stuff and trips and all that. We're out of
Yep.
time again. It's like
Oh, that's
few
so
seconds
great though,
left.
Brady.
That is awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right
Well,
on.
step in the right direction. Now I get my mindset going to get busy.
Yeah. Get busy. And you are busy. We are busy. We can't just
That's
think
right.
negatively that we're not, because we are busy. So that's
Yeah.
cool. Okay. Have a productive day.
Great
Get
Bye,
the
day.
negative
Jan. Bye,
thoughts.
Mark.
Put in positive thoughts. Okay.
Bye,
Awesome.
Jan.
Bye, Jan. Bye, Mark.
Rod.
See you later. Oh, see you, Rod.